It's a topic we feel necessary to address from time to time as more and more employers are asking their staff to come back to work. Joining us with more on how employers can take an active role in their staff's well-being is Dr. Shirley Davis, author, president, and CEO of SDS Global Enterprises. It's good to see you.
To be here. Thank you.
So there's a level of stress that may not have been at the workplace before the pandemic. So what is your advice for employers, companies, to make people feel safe, to make them feel at ease?
Yeah, psychological safety is really what we refer to, and it's so important that in a couple of ways, right? People are stressed out, they're overworked, there's a lot of uncertainty, and as you can imagine, our lives have been disrupted. So what employers and leaders can do is just to continue to check in on people. Don't assume that because I'm here and I'm smiling, I'm at work, that everything is okay. Look for signs at times that things might be different, that their attitudes may change, or that their demeanor might be different. Be more observant. That's very important. Ask questions, but also keep an open door policy.
Yeah, ask questions, be inquisitive, because again, like you say, people don't necessarily wear their heart on their sleeve, and so you don't know if something is bothering them. So to create a reassuring place as well. And I think a lot of people, they are a little nervous. You know, we hear things in the news in terms of the economy or another variant coming around. So what can workplaces also do to be proactive in opening up the lines of communication so that people are reassured as well?
Mm-hmm. You know, it's important, as I said earlier, keep an open door policy, but also raise awareness, allow for those safe spaces where people can talk and ask questions and not feel like that's going to be a career limiting decision to share something, but also provide as much proactive information and education around it as well, and allow for organizations to come in that have expertise that can also be a place where you can ask questions and get some additional information.
Now, are these some larger companies that are utilizing these third parties to come in and to speak with their employees? Because that sounds like it could be expensive. Are there any less expensive ways in which they can just take the time, bring an expert in to talk to people, or other ways in which they can reach out?
Yeah, look, that's a great point. A lot of organizations will use their medical benefits plans to allow people to use that to go get any therapy or counseling or just ask those kinds of questions, or they'll be able to use their employee assistance program that covers that. But the ones that we've been working with provide more psychologically safe conversations, or what we call courageous and impactful conversations. Yes, they're small, medium, and large. Some of them are federal government agencies, and some of them are mom and pop shops. But if you can get like a coach, someone that can really understand and create that safe space where people feel comfortable sharing, that's a lot less expensive than getting an entire third-party organization where it can be a lot more expensive.
I see. So you also you work in the world of DE&I. Can you tell our audience what those letters stand for?
Absolutely. Yes. Diversity, equity, and inclusion. And it couldn't be more important right now. It's front and center, and we are in the throes of it. And so helping organizations not only create these psychologically safe workplaces and to demystify mental health and why it's so important, because that attaches to burnout and stress and depression and anxiety, even at work. So that's the work that we're doing, is helping to create cultures of inclusion and belonging and safety where everyone can thrive.
And it's important that people don't get stuck in the past, and they need to evolve. Companies need to evolve. They need to change their processes, their policies. Yes. What is a good way, or is there some place that they can go if we are talking about a smaller size employer, where they can maybe draw on just things that have already worked for others and then implement it in their own way?
Yeah, you know, I've been finding great resources, even online. There's a lot of social groups that you can become a part of. There's a lot of great research that's out there. And with all that's been happening over the last 16 months, there's so many resources that's just online that you can go to that allows you to learn more about what's happening in the world of work and the world of diversity, equity, and inclusion. But also with organizations, they have HR departments or HR organizations that you can reach out to that can also help.
Okay. And finally, toxic cultures and toxic workers. How do you address that? Because you've got the water cooler talk, but then you've also got some people who love to stir the pot. And obviously, you want to put a stop to that if it's creating a toxic work environment.
Yep. Always go back to your values and making sure that every employee understands how important it is to not only know the values, but to live the values. Leaders have to also set that example. Hold people accountable, call that out, do not let anyone off the hook, and make sure that we're continuing to reiterate the consequences of when we aren't treating people with respect. But more importantly, let's model that so that it shows people this is what we expect of people.
That's great. You are also an author. Where can people find your book?
Oh, please go to Amazon or Barnes & Noble. It's everywhere books are sold. It's even in Walmart.com. So please take a look at it. Living Beyond What If. How do you release the limits and realize your dreams? And I think, Laura, through all what we've been through over these last 6 months, we are all reinventing ourselves, and that book will help.
Absolutely. Dr. Shirley Davis, thank you so much for joining us.
Pleasure.
We're back after this.